Hello, friends. As you probably know, I always share from my own experience, period. And if I don't, I will certainly let you know where I got it from. And what I'm experiencing for a while, for a long while, but much more condensed lately, is that we are basically at the precipice of something major happening. We know a lot of big stuff is happening in the world, in the 3D world, that is, shall we say, not so good. And it is being balanced by this new energy and frequency, higher consciousness that is equally coming up strongly. And as this light, this higher frequency, is expanding more, coming in more into our awareness and our consciousness, this will have to get bigger too in its opposite polarity. And if we only focus on that, what we don't like, we really are missing what is happening at the same time. That is, we can say it's bringing it up to the surface, not just in the world, but in you and me too. And that's why many of us are really getting to see some of these deep, dark parts of us that we either didn't know were there, or we did know them and we certainly didn't want anybody to know about it, including ourselves. And that's what's been suppressed and kept down and hidden. With this energy coming up as we speak, this is going to come up too, because the light is bringing up what is not light to be dispersed, to basically, with darkness, when you bring light to darkness, the darkness disappears. But before that happens, we are experiencing that darkness, not because we are wrong or bad or whatever it is. It's simply because it is coming up to be purified and to be released. I did a video on that not too long ago. I would say the energies are getting stronger by the day. And so we are not just experiencing the heaviness, the darkness, the shadow side of ourselves that is projected out into the world, because ultimately there really is no world other than a reflection or mirror of what we are radiating out with or without a smear. There was another video on that lately. And that is still very alive in me to speak about, to experience, and to keep deepening into my own light, and keep noticing what smear is still in my windshield that I still experience the world through. And then it could look pretty dark, right? Because a smear is not clear. A smear is not clear. A smear covers our vision. Just like when you're driving your car and there's a bird poop, it's like you can't see through the bird poop, but you can notice the bird poop. And then energetically, we can shift it. We don't go out and I think I shared that before too. We don't go out and find more bird poop to clean the bird poop with. And that is what most people are still doing, not knowing that that's not going to clear it because this is a metaphor. Well, we are using the old paradigm, the matrix energy of duality, lack, limitation. Um, we're using that to clear the mirror, and you can't do that. You can only add to it. And that may be why we're seeing a lot of darkness in the world, because most people do not know how to clear the mirror. They are using more bird poop, trying to clean it. And it's getting a little ugly, right? Would you say out there? There is another way to clear it, and that is really knowing and realizing that this is not who we are. This is not reality. And therefore, we do not need to do anything with it other than just noticing it, becoming aware of it, not engaging with our own bird poop, if I may use that expression here, with our own smear, not engaging with it, but also not ignoring it or bypassing it. It's kind of finding that middle ground where we notice it, and we're aware to not touch it because then it just gets more smeared. But to just stay here and staying in our center, in our divine essence, connected to the field. The field is the higher energy. The field is the light. And the more we are that light, the more this smear, which is the darkness, will simply disperse. Very different, very opposite of what we have been trained to believe or learned or whatever, conditioned, programmed. So I'm putting that out as an opportunity for us all to just be aware that what we are seeing out there, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, the five sense mind, that is happening in here, projected out there, and we believe it's out there. We want to change it out there, but ultimately we have to go back here and notice what beliefs, what kind of smear, what kind of bird poop that we are entertaining, and then let it go, or be present with it in a way so we can let it go. So that's the only doing we need to engage in, is to disengage, to ungrasp, to let go of our attachments to the smear and trying to make it better or to justify or find justice. Maybe the bird poop smear is an experience where a lot of injustice have been done to you. And then, of course, we want justice, right? And that's why there's injustice and there's justice. And that is the duality, that is the matrix. It's happening in here. Let it go. Don't touch it. Or if you are too entangled in it and you cannot let it go, because that would be a bypass, then do what you need to do to soften your grip. That's the doing. And the more you learn how to do that, it softens and then you can let it go. But we first need to know, what is it in us that keeps like grasping or fighting or battling? Once we know that, we can see it and we can help that part, give it what it needs. It may just need to have somebody witnessing it, to speak, of all the injustice maybe that has been done. And nobody has ever listened, so that part feels like, okay, I'm finally being heard. Very important piece. Very important piece in Hakomi. As a Hakomi therapist, that is one very important part of the work we do. Is we have all these missing pieces in us that need something so they can finally relax and let go. Until that happens, there's a good chance that it's going to keep repeating the story or repeating the battle or repeating having this injustice coming to us, so that we can see that we are looking through this bird poop. And that's why we keep experiencing bird poop. It's a pretty good example, isn't it? That's kind of what's going on. Then when we see it, then we can soften and soften and soften. And then suddenly the bird poop is gone and we will not have that experience anymore. So that's what I really want to invite us all to be aware of. What we see in the world is our own bird poop. can be a big one. If we have experienced a lot of injustice, it can be very hard to let go of that because there's a lot of energy in it, right? There's a lot of matrix energy in it of anger and fear, a lot of feeding of the matrix, very hard to let go of. That's why it can be super helpful to have somebody who can help you with the letting go. And I always offer that. You're welcome to set up a self-discovery session with me, and the link is below. And then we can find out, what is this sticky point and what does that part of you need? So to soften, to soften, to soften. Sometimes it can happen right away. Sometimes it takes a long time, all depending on how many layers of stickiness, how sticky the glue has been. So it's just meeting it exactly where it is. And then we're not bypassing and we're not getting lost in it. We're actually letting go of the grip, not touching the bird poop anymore, and literally things are changing out there. That is where real transformation comes from. Not to say we shouldn't go out there doing good things, bringing a lot of, good energy to things, not going out there fighting. That's kind of part of the matrix and the duality, but starting to bring your light to places, even if it's just walking around, really feeling and presence in your light without doing anything, you'll feel it. It's very tangible once we connect with that. And then people will feel it. They don't know what it is. You may never know that somebody got touched. But it doesn't matter because you know that you are walking as that light, and that light has a higher frequency, and everything is going to change because of that. So not going out there battling, fighting, protesting, blaming, shaming, whatever. All matrix stuff, all feeding the matrix, and nothing will change. It will just get worse. It's like more bird poop, more bird poop. Yeah, see, I was right. They're all bird poop, more. And it can get harder and harder to get out of it because it's like you have more proof that you're right, right? And that makes it very hard. So if you can feel some resonance in what I'm sharing today, take it to heart and make it do whatever you need to do to find that part in you so you can also start softening and letting it go. It's so funny. I was going to talk about something completely different today. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. All right, my friends, have a wonderful day. And please reach out if you feel the need for support in doing your own little discovery in yourself. Blessed be.